Okay, I think we're live. Just gonna do an audio check. Come on. One viewer, just the way I likes it. Just gonna be an impromptu stream. You know, a lot of people are at that age where they're either considering what path to go down in life, or they're a bit older, they're dissatisfied, they're malcontent, they're not happy with where they ended up, and they want to go back to school for something else. They want to retailor themselves. And you know I've been in STEM myself, and I always like uh, trying to hoodwink. I don't mean hoodwink. I mean encourage others to go into STEM because it truly is such a rewarding and lucrative, and it has such a great return on investment. It truly does. If you major in STEM, it is well worth the years of sacrifice. I can tell you that. And people often talk about the high salary, and that is true. That is true. You might, in fact, make upwards of two times what a clinical psychologist makes. I know, all with all of those years of effort and all of those things you missed out on as a teenager and in your 20s. Wow, a factor of two gross. So it's not really a factor of two after taxes. Maybe it's like a difference of 1.75. Okay. Um, I had some video on YouTube, and it was like the best and worst things to major in. And, you might look at that and say, wow, nuclear engineer, $108,000, clinical psychologist, $54,000. And yes, majoring in nuclear engineering is way more than twice as difficult as majoring in clinical psychiatry. But that's not the way you should look at things. It's a privilege to sacrifice yourself for, a giant energy, corporation, for GE. GE doesn't want to have to pay nuclear engineers $250,000 a year. Fuck them. Okay. You'll take your 50% or 100%, factor of two uh, salary over a clinical psychiatrist, and you'll be grateful for it, Mr. I have a master's in nuclear engineering. Don't forget your place. Okay, it's important you remember your place in this society. And so we talk a lot about, you've heard about the amazing salary that engineers command. Okay, or STEM majors in general. Absolutely amazing salary. Um, you're gonna be like a nigger hip hop artist. Let me tell you that. You're gonna be you're gonna be living that Gucci lifestyle real quick. Spinning rims, everything's Gucci. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You'll be like your favorite, and you have to live vicariously. You have to understand that. You may be sitting in an office or whatever, but you have to live vicariously through your nigger show tunes. And just push out of your mind the fact that athletes and entertainers make hundreds of times what you do, okay, and that you had to sacrifice for years and years. And meanwhile, people with legitimate criminal records are invited to college campuses to perform, like in the springtime, or around graduation. They usually have parties. Oftentimes the people they invite have legitimate criminal records for drug possession, firearm possession. If you ever stepped out of line, your life would be derailed. Okay, you would never get that fucker. You would never get a second chance. Okay, so don't think about the double standards. Just think about that big, juicy STEM paycheck. Okay, that big, juicy STEM paycheck. That yeah, I know it's you put in way more than twice the effort as some ditzy blonde who majors in clinical psychiatry. I know while she was, doing jello shots, you were sitting in a study cubicle, rocking back and forth, committing, stats and figures to memory for that upcoming exam. I understand that. I understand that perhaps you put in 10 times, maybe even 100 times the effort, the hours, spent in labs, spent debugging code. I understand that. As somebody who, I don't know, they had to, they majored in clinical psychiatry, and as part of that, they have to take several courses on, lesbianism and, you know, African culture and native people's culture, indigenous people's culture, whatever, because you have to be able to relate to the little brown people. Okay, you have to understand that they're traumatized from the time they're born. The native indigenous peoples. You may think they have it easy because if you're a member of a First Nations tribe in Canada or an American Indian tribe in the United States, you're from the time you're born, you've got a scholarship ready for you. It doesn't matter what your grades are. That is the white man's punishment. It is eternal. You've heard of Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the hill. Well, the white man just gets fucking flogged relentlessly, never ending. Oh, somebody did somebody wrong a couple centuries ago. Trail of Tears. Yeah, well, how about we have your trail of coins there, white man. You got some holes in your pockets. You walking and you dropping them coins. We're going to take them shekels and we're going to give them to the descendants of noble, not noble savages, those victims of manifest destiny. Okay, so if you're a little brown squatter, whose ancestors practiced, ritualistic sacrifice and scalped and mutilated and raped and just really just tortured people to death, like something out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You get a free scholarship. But, if you're white, you had to study hard in high school. You had to, take the AP classes. You had to do well, prove yourself. Okay. Only the white man has to prove himself. Take your standardized tests, ACT, SAT, whatever. Okay, maybe you get a scholarship. You now have the privilege to study in STEM. Okay, bachelor's, you say, is not cutting it anymore. Okay, white man, we're gonna go for round two. Round two, white man, you up for it? Okay. You're gonna take the GRE. Okay, the GRE. It's like the SAT, but now much harder. Okay, if you do well on that, you might get a fellowship for graduate school, for your master's, for your PhD. Okay, it's round two. Again, if you're anything other than a white man, it's pretty much smooth sailing. But you've got to prove yourself. Say you do. Say you do. You proved yourself time and time again. You land that lucrative job. Okay, like I said, it's so lucrative. So lucrative, okay? A factor of two. I mean, I can't even like that's so much money. I can't even understand what a factor of two is. Okay? I like to think of it not as a factor of two, but as 100% more. Okay? That's a better way of viewing things. Okay? It makes your tiny little niggardly paycheck feel so like it's so much bigger than it really is. So I understand those clinical psychiatrists got to party and fuck their way through adolescence and through college, but you know what? I make 100% more than them. I know that's gross. I know that really just means a factor of two gross, and then after taxes, that it's really much smaller. And then when you factor in the cost of living to live near those lucrative STEM jobs, pretty much all my money is given away to, Finkelstein and Sons, the landlords of my apartment complex. Um, but you know what? It's all worth it because some things you can't put a price tag on, people. You can't. You just they transcend the monetary. Okay, we all have heard rumors of what it's like to work at these the big tech companies. Everybody, Google gets whatever 1,000 applications for every position. Everybody wants to work at the big five or the big three, whatever. Amazon, Google, Apple, Microsoft, etc. And we've heard of the perks. We've heard of the perks. Um, Again, aside from that totes amazing salary. Okay, I mean a factor of two more than a psychiatrist. Whew, I can't even picture what a factor of two is. I know I majored in STEM, but a factor of two, that sounds like a lot. Sounds like a lot. Um, but they offer other things. Okay, if you work at Palantir, which is like they do a lot of coding, programming, simulations, and stuff, cybersecurity for government agencies. And I know people who work there. Ironically, when you get your PhD in physics and you can't find a job, as I know several people, um, you basically, what you did for 10 years can't find you a job, and then you just go work and you do programming or you do like advertising, like you do targeted advertising for these companies. So you work at like Palantir or something. You work at Palantir, so you could have just done that when you were 13. I mean, you could have been studying coding, as a high schooler. You didn't have to major in, you didn't have to get your bachelor's, master's, and doctorate in physics to become a programmer. But I know so many people who that is what they did. They majored in, physics or engineering, got their undergrad, master's, doctorate, and then they can't really find a job or it doesn't pay well, and then they go and work as a programmer. So a decade's worth of relevant experience just fucking shot to shit. I mean, it was nice, I mean, I guess they'll take the person who has more degrees than somebody who doesn't, because why not? I mean, you're going to pay them the same price, same wonderful salary. But it's interesting, uh, I mean, these people could have just studied programming from the time they were 13 and dispensed with all of that additional learning and all of that stress and cortisol and all of that. But that's not what they did. That's not what they did. So and it's probably for the best because when you work at one of these big tech companies, they have some pretty sweet perks. Okay, I know you're in your late 20s, in your early 30s. I know you're technically an adult, but sometimes it's nice to feel like you're a little kid. It's kind of nice to pretend like you're in pre-K. For, bagged lunches, catered lunches, hot lunches. um I love being able to look at the lunch menu like I'm back in elementary school and see, is it, and of course it's not like they used to have like good stuff back in, school, like chicken nuggets and hamburger patty, taco salad. Nah, we don't have that anymore. Okay, we have more kind of the new age stuff, so it'll be some, oh, I don't know, Thai dish, some Indian dish, some Ethiopian dish, and that's nothing to say of the snacks. Okay, now I understand you may be particular, but you may want this, you may want that. You gotta. These things are free. So maybe you don't like Diet Mountain Dew. Maybe it tastes like shit, but you know what? It's free. It's free. It's free, bro. I understand you might like, for instance, I'm partial to Red Line, not Red Bull, Red Line. And if I have to meet these fucking deadlines for so these projects that are so fucking entertaining and captivating and not boring at all, I need Red Line to do that. But they don't, they don't stock Red Line. I may want Dunkaroos, and I've heard that they still make them in Canada, but maybe they just stock, I don't know, Chips Ahoy cookies. It's a free snack, brah. Don't look a gift snack in the mouth. Um, so you may want specific things, but unlimited diet cokes and unlimited diet Mountain Dews, it's free. It's not what you wanted, but it's free, right? I mean, that's a perk of working at one of these tech firms is unlimited free shit you didn't want and you didn't ask for. Some of these places they even have, free. They bring because they don't want you diverting attention and time and effort away from your job. Basically they never want you to leave work, which is a nice feeling, like you kind of want to feel like you're being held against your will. um, they don't really care for you associating outside of work. That's why they have all of these activities with you and your coworkers. It's sort of like a cult in that respect. They try to minimize your interaction with people outside of the company, and your coworkers are your friends and your family, and you never see anybody else. And you do team building exercises together. You eat together. You go to the break room and you play ping pong together. You can. I hope you like your coworkers because you will never get away from them. You will never get away from them. So I hope you like, Sandeep. I hope you like, Chong and Chang. Um, I hope you like those guys because they are going to be riding up your crack all the time, all the time. Um, but I mean, sometimes they bring in, like I said, so you don't have to go out and get, say, things like a haircut. Now, truth be told, you're not going to have a personal life, so you don't really need to cut your hair. I mean, but it's nice that they offer. It's nice that they bring the barber to you, sort of like what they do in nursing homes for the elderly people. The elderly people, it's more cost efficient for them to bring the hairstylist to the nursing home one day every month than to take the individual residents to the barber shop. And it's all about that bottom line, people. Um, so that's nice. Sometimes they also bring in a masseuse because that's the only human interaction you're ever going to have. So I hope you like a stranger touching your body. Um, because that's the only human touch you're ever going to experience working in STEM. Um, yeah, they bring the barber to you in prison too, so work, prison, nursing home. It's good that it's called it's called empathy. Walk a mile in that prisoner's shoes. Walk a mile in that dementia patient's shoes. It's good. You can see the world through prison bars as you work at your STEM job. But, you know, you're not just doing it for the money. You're not just doing it for the perks. You're doing it to make the world a better place. Okay. Uh, if you major in STEM, you're going to be doing some pretty awesome things. Okay, it's going to be like in the movie Aliens, where they terraform other planets. And what was it called? Building New Worlds. What was the name of that company? Aliens. Let me look it up for you. It was a corporation. It was called Wayland Yutani Corporation. It's a fictional sci-fi um, movie, but in the movie Alien, with Sigourney Weaver, Wayland Yutani Corporation, building better worlds, and that was their slogan, building better worlds, and they would transform inhospitable planets into some place where humans could live. That was their job. And you're not going to be doing anything that cool, unfortunately. You're going to be more like adding a drop down menu to the login screen so that it's no longer, when it's gender, it'll say it's your job and the team underneath you to change sex colon to gender colon, and instead of two boxes, male, female, now you have to expand upon the options. Okay, so that's going to be your job. Okay, that's what you majored in STEM for 10 years, to expand the gender selection menu to include things like two spirit, non-conforming, androgyne, femme, um, trans, male to female, etc. Okay, it's to be inclusive. Okay, so you're not really like doing cool shit like expanding into the cosmos or something, but or exploring the depths of the ocean and trying to find the biggest squid, and bring it to the surface. No, 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 no. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. You've got more important uses for that big old white noggin of yours. Okay, big old white noggin of yours. And there are a lot of cripples. There are a lot of retards. There are a lot of autistic, aspie people. Don't It's not your place to question why there's this sudden uptick in retards and autistic people. That's not your place, okay? It's your role to come up with therapeutic devices for them, for bionic devices, for to facilitate them getting along in their everyday lives, to help make them part of their community. Okay, to help them feel respected and feel engaged. Okay, that's your job. Okay, to just, I mean, there's so many people, with different impairments who are specially abled, and you with your big white noggin filled with all of that technical expertise, it's your job to help them. Okay, you gotta help pick each other up. Okay, uh, you know, I find myself working in STEM, and I'm humming that, what was it, that Bill Withers song? No, who was it? Lean on Me. Was that Dobie Gray? Lean on Me. And that's the right attitude. Okay. And if you're that's the right what is it? What is that term? Humanitarian. That's the right way to view things. Even if you happen to work on weapons systems, for Raytheon or Boeing or Northrop. All these companies have been merged so many times. I don't even know how many there are, but um, you get to protect freedoms. Okay, you get to protect freedoms for Americans and for anybody who can slither or hop across the border, okay? Because they're not illegals, brah. They're not illegal aliens. They're Americans in waiting, okay? They're Americans in waiting, brah. So every time you help design a bomb or a missile to help protect America, you're really helping to protect Americans in waiting too, okay? Um, Maria and Jose are just Mary and Joseph, Mary and John. Okay, they're as American as apple pie. Okay, so every time you help design like a laser guidance system with that big old white noggin of yours, you're really just helping to protect freedoms. Okay, and I don't know about you, but I'm enjoying my freedoms here in America, and I don't take any of those wonderful freedoms for granted. I get to marry another man. I get to watch unlimited amounts of pornography that rewire my brain so that I can never have a healthy relationship with another person. I mean, that's awesome. That's so cool. I mean, these are freedoms that they don't have in other countries. Okay, like the Great Firewall of China, where they ban certain content, certain sites. That's so wrong. That's so wrong. It's so much better to have access to the most depraved pornography of it, imaginable. It helps to rewire your brain. Um, just so many of the freedoms that we have here in America. Yeah, it's truly, you don't know how bad it is. I mean, can you imagine living in a country like North Korea where everybody looks the same? I would vomit if I saw nothing but white people. Oh, white people? Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't want to see white people. I want to see people who don't look like me everywhere. I want to see people prattling in their alien tongues with their big purple Pomeranian dog tongues flopping out of their mouths as they try to enunciate their Durka Durka languages. That's what I want to see. Yeah, I want to see. I mean, oh, I mean, it would be horrible living in a place like North Korea where everybody speaks the same language, everybody looks the same, they're of the same race. Oh, can you imagine that? That'd be so disgusting. I love going to the Mall of America and seeing nothing but Durka Durkas and their burkas. You know, it's so colorful too. White people are so drab. I love seeing colorful burqas. That's what it means to be American, you know? Yeah, we have so many freedoms in this country that, that's what you're doing. Okay, so say, you have a lot of options. Okay, the world truly is your oyster when you major in STEM. You can either do something like I said, you can work at a tech company, helping to make tech more inclusive, things like that. Or, if you go the other route and you're working on weapon systems for, a government contractor for DARPA or something like that, you get that sense of satisfaction knowing you're helping to protect freedoms. You're helping to protect freedoms because remember what George Bush said, they hate us because of our freedoms. You know why 9/11 happened? Do you know why? It was because those Muslims, they were angry that we could marry another man. Okay, that's why they were so angry. That's why ISIS is so angry. Okay, because they're jealous people. They're jealous because we have gay marriage and they don't. Okay, that's why they hate us. They they hate us because of we have access to lots and lots of pornography. Okay, they're jealous. They want gay porno. Okay, they want gay pornog. They want gay marriage. Let's see here. Yeah, STEM is such a rewarding thing to major in. It truly is. Um, you get to squander your teenage years, studying it all, while other people are taking, remedial algebra. You're taking, AP calculus, and for that, that person who ends up as a clinical psychiatrist, they make 54,000 a year in a low cost of living area, and you make $108,000 in San Diego. So yeah, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. It's such a wise decision to major in STEM. It makes sense to expend more effort and expend more time and more energy to make a little bit more. It makes so much, yeah, it's just you'd be foolish not to. You'd be foolish not to. And just like those perks, like I said, free snacks, maybe it's not what you want. Maybe the person with the cart comes down and you don't have an office if you major in STEM. You don't have an office, but you work at a big, long table. Um, and, maybe the person comes down with a snack cart and they slap you in the face with a fucking fruit roll up like you're punishing a bad dog. You're whacking it in the nose with a newspaper, with a rolled up newspaper. They smack you in your fucking face with a fucking fruit roll up. Okay, maybe you don't want a fruit roll up. Tough shit, fuckface. Okay, we don't have any Dunkaroos. Okay, you got your choice, asshole. You can take the shitty granola bar, and not the good kind either. Okay, we don't have fucking varieties of. We don't have a fucking pantry back there. Okay, what do you think this is? Okay, you can choose your stale fruit roll up or some crunchy granola bar that'll break your teeth. Yeah, it's not just the money, okay? The money's good. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'm living like a hip hop nigga right now, and I thank STEM for that. Yeah, you think professional athletes get paid well? Pfft, they got nothing on what STEM majors make. Okay, all them nigger hip hop artists. Oh, they envy nuclear scientists. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Yeah, you think those hip hop artists are laughing because those dumb cracker honkies wasted their lives for 15 years studying to make twice what a McDonald's manager makes? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What kind of question is that? I don't. I don't see myself in 10 years. Um, Oh yeah, what about all the respect you get for being able to do that difficult stuff? Exactly. Good comment. Good comment. As a STEM, as a professional in STEM, you are going to be the recipient of lots of respect. You can tell that this society values STEM majors by the fact that there are all the people in Congress. I don't think a single one of them majored in STEM. You can tell that this society really values engineers, since aside from Jimmy Carter, I don't think any elected official has had a background in STEM. What are the most typical majors for uh, senators and representatives? It's law, law. Um, what is it? They major in law, political science, history, and I don't know, is yeah, political science. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, those are by far the most common majors. I think law is by far and away the most common major, and then occupation. It's law or political science. Um, you can tell the society really values its engineers by the fact that there are no engineers in Congress. Um, Now, this is in contrast to countries like China or Korea, where what is the it's not the parliament in China, it's the what is it called? It's not the what is it called? The big caucus, the party, whatever. I think there it's actually the opposite. The most common background for people in the Politburo, I don't know, whatever, Politburo, um, the officials, the party officials in China is STEM. It's engineering. I mean, I think we could look up. Let's look up the current president. What did he do? What did he? Now I could be wrong. Let's see. Let's see what he majored in. Well, he graduated from Tsinghua, so that's a good. That's a good. There's a good chance he majored in STEM. Let's see. Tsinghua is like the MIT of China. Let's see. Let's see here. uh, President of China, Xi Jinping. He studied chemical engineering at Beijing's prestigious Tsinghua University as a worker, peasant, soldier student. All right. So chemical engineering. Okay, chemical engineering. But yeah, you can tell the society really respects people in STEM by the fact that you know you none of them are ever elected to public office, and I mean, when the elected officials need to know something, they may bust some nerds in to act as advisors, and throw them a muffin or something to shut their fucking mouth, and then they bust them back to wherever they fucking work. But they if when they need them, they're there, and that's the important thing. Is as a STEM as a STEM professional, your opinion counts, and when your elected officials, because democracy number one, um, ask your opinion. They'll remove the gag and they'll slap you, and you can say whatever. Global warming is a threat, and then they'll put the gag back in, put you back on the bus, and ship you the fuck out. But it's important that you're there, to answer questions that are elected representatives. Okay, because democracy is awesome. Democracy is so wonderful. When they have a question, relating to something technical, things like that, things of that nature. So, and there are other things you can do too. You could work for, um, a .com billionaire who's good at bilking money from the government with his crackpot ideas. Elon Musk. It would be so amazing to work at SpaceX. First of all, you get the amazing salary as, say an aerospace engineer, propulsion systems engineer. You get to make $80,000 a year in Los Angeles. I mean, that's pretty good. Okay, that's going to buy you like a mansion, right? I mean, $80,000 a year in Los Angeles, right? That's good. That's good money. $80,000 a year in LA, where illegals are living 20 to a house. You got fucking 10 cars parked up on the lawn. Yeah, you sleep five to a room. Okay, but $80,000 a year, that's big bucks, bro. It's big bucks. Yeah, and see, SpaceX is so awesome because you get to do what white engineers did back in the 1950s and 60s. So I understand you're kind of just going through the motions of doing this all again. I understand, man walked on the moon 50 years ago. That's a long time ago. I understand that you're struggling to do what the Soviet Union, what the United States did in the late 1950s, you know, putting things into orbit. It's kind of like reinventing the wheel. But don't think of it like that. You're pushing the envelope because somehow it's different when a private company with lots of government subsidies and government grants does it than when a government agency actually does it. It's a huge difference. It's like night and day. It's totally different. It's totally different, people. They're not even the same. It's like when NASA, a government agency, does it, it's one thing. When a private company that uses NASA launch pads and infrastructure and government grants and subsidies does it, um, it's totally different. I mean, I don't even see how can you even compare the two? Okay, I'm not seeing the commonalities here. Okay, it's totally different. Okay. Yeah, you can work on these harebrained schemes while the CEO just fucks around and smokes weed and plays with big lighters on television with his little fumbling on the trigger of the flamethrower with his tiny fetal alcohol syndrome hands. Maybe as a STEM professional, you can help make like finger extensions for Elon Musk. For people who have small, misshapen, shrunken hands because of fetal alcohol syndrome. Because if you ever look at his hands, they're so dainty and tiny. I don't even see how he could operate a keyboard. I don't see how his fingers could stretch across to hit, the keys, the tab key, the Q key, etc. We've got to work on some finger extensions for people whose mothers drank severely during pregnancy. And that's your job as a STEM professional, is to help remedy all of everybody else's fuck ups. Everybody else's fuck ups. Okay, whether their parents were too old when they had them, so the kids kind of fucked up. Whether their parents were on drugs, alcohol, sopped in alcohol during pregnancy. That's your problem. Okay, that's your problem. You're a fixer. Okay, it's you're like you're what's the term? Um, you're a grandiose plumber. Okay, you're a grandiose car mechanic. You're there to fix shit. Okay, and instead of fixing a car, you're fixing people who are broken. And sometimes you may be responsible for the cause as well as the solution of why people are fucked up. So maybe you start off in your career as a mechanical engineer, something, an optoelectronics engineer. You're working at a defense company, and you hope there's a war. Okay, you hope there's a conflict with Syria, Iran, something like that, because that means business is going to be good. You'll get overtime, you'll get a bonus. So you're chomping at the bit hoping that there's a conflict. So maybe some of those soldiers, U.S. soldiers who get maimed or whatever, are maimed in that conflict, and then they come back, they're all fucked up, and then maybe you transition, maybe you start to have a pang of guilt or something, and then you start working at, I don't know, Veterans Hospital, the VA. Veterans Administration, and you start doing like bionic stuff. You start doing, rehabilitation for wounded warriors, and maybe you're coming up with some exoskeleton, some cool exoskeleton, to help these people who had their legs blown off by an IED. You help them walk. So isn't that cool? You're both the cause of their disability as well as their salvation. That's like a pincer maneuver. Okay, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Women love STEM majors. Well, no, women want to be the STEM majors. Okay, they want males out so that they can get in. Okay, they don't love STEM majors. They want to be the STEM majors. Okay, because they've been told it's so awesome and it's so cool and the money is so good, and it makes sense to you know uproot yourself, if you grew up somewhere, and just move to where the jobs are, move to the West Coast. You don't have any family there, you don't have any friends there, but guess what? Your coworkers will be your new family. They'll be your new buds. Okay, Sandeep, Chang, they're just friends you haven't, strangers, just a friend you haven't met yet. Just like, Mexicans are just Americans across the border. Okay. So they just want some of those freedoms, okay, that we take for granted here. They just want to marry another man. Okay. Shit. all of these all of these redneck hillbillies trying to keep that gay marriage for themselves, trying to to deprive Pablo and Jose from getting married. Okay, that's why MS-13 are coming across the border so that they can get gay married. Okay, what do you think? It's to for the money and to run drugs and to rape people? No, it's so that they love each other. They want to express their tenderness to each other, and they can't do that back in their country. They're coming here for the freedoms, okay? For the gay marriage. Okay? So don't ever take the freedom you enjoy here in America for granted, okay? They don't have gay marriage in North Korea. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a world without gay marriage? Oh, oh, that's horrible. I mean, can you imagine going to a shopping center or to the food market in North Korea and you look around and everybody looks the same as you do? That'd be horrible. Okay? I like going to the mall here in America and feeling like this is no longer my country. Like I'm a minority in my own country. I hear all of these wonderful alien Durka Durka languages. I see all of these women covered head to toe in these brightly colored burqas, and it's so enriching. I feel so enriched. Okay, and as a STEM professional, the world really is your oyster. You can do so much good. You can do so much good. Um, maybe as a civil engineer or something like that, you can be part of, the reconstruction project after a country gets bombed to smithereens. You can go help build bridges and roads. You can help destroy them, and then you can help rebuild them in Iraq and you know Afghanistan, because it's important that they have good infrastructure to move the poppies, to move the heroin, to ship it to, Europe and things like that. They've got to have good roads, people. You've got to have a good system of roads in place in Afghanistan to move the heroin from the poppy fields. Okay, how else are you going to make uh, European youths OD? Okay, okay, think about it. They have to have good roads. Okay, good network of roads in Afghanistan to help get that heroin, into the bloodstream. Okay, and you can be part of that. You can be a part of that. Or maybe you help, design some medical device that helps to we always hear these stories, right? Some case of two, you know, it'll be some goodwill, heartwarming story about two two sand niggers who were born and had their heads joined. Yeah, they're joined at the head because of, I guess, the depleted uranium rounds that America keeps pumping abroad. So they fly the two-headed wonder in by, helicopter or something, and maybe you can help design a medical device that will be used by Doctor Ari Fleischman, the renowned surgeon, during the 40-hour operation to separate the conjoined wonders. Okay, okay, that's what America does. Cause the problem, offer the solution. Send, your kids' twins were joined at the noggin. Well, fly them to America, and we got this instrument. It's some gadget, some gigaw that'll be used by the renowned surgeon Ari Fleischman, and he'll separate those two sand niggers' noggins. But yeah, there's just, STEM is it's such a good career choice. Such a good career choice. You know, if you like long hours and, putting in hundreds of times the effort, studying, working, debugging stuff, as, somebody who, whatever, they work at as a stock boy, as a bag boy, as a manager at a food store, as a manager at the dollar store, as a clinical psychiatrist, as a whatever. Okay. Um, you put in hundreds of times more energy, time, etc., for two times the money. Okay, only a STEM person can do that calculation. Okay, makes sense. Is the chat working here? Chat seems to be frozen. What's the problem? Is cat got your tongue? Are you all filling out your applications to major in STEM? I hope so. I hope so. STEM is very rewarding. Okay. Yeah, those perks too. Okay. Now those perks are only offered at some select choice organizations, some choice corporations. Okay. Apple, Palantir, Google. Okay. Palantir, I know this is that they're quite generous with the perks. They're quite generous with the perks. Um, snacks. Okay. You may not like, foreign foods, but you know what? You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. You say you grew up on pork chops. Well, fuck that. You're gonna eat some kebab. Okay, you're gonna eat some halal food. Okay, so fuck your cuisine. Fuck your palate. Okay, we're gonna have catered lunches, and you don't get to order what you want. You get to eat what they bring. So I hope you like lamb. I hope you like it. Um, Seasoned with some halal spices. Um, like I said, the snacks, they got a lot of, choices. It may not be what you want. Like I said, you may want Red Bull or Red Line or something like that, or a certain soda. Well, tough shit. No, you can't have a mini fridge underneath your desk, you asshole. Okay. No, no non-standard equipment, fuckface. Okay. What do you think? You can just bring in your own computer mouse, your own keyboard? Okay. How do we know you're not siphoning information from the company? Huh? So you know what? You get to use your default standard keyboard and all your default peripherals. And if you don't like it, suck a dick. Okay. So no office either. No office. We don't like walls in our organization. We don't like putting up walls. We don't like that. We like everybody sitting at a big long table. Okay, big long table. You can play footsie with the person opposite you. It's not going to be a woman. It's going to be another man. Hope you like that. Yeah, you can play footsie with Sandeep. Okay, he doesn't like to wear shoes. He's more of a sandal type guy. Okay. It's their culture, brah. Okay. You don't like smelling feet in the summertime? Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay. It's their culture to go shoeless. Okay. You're the weird one for wearing shoes. Okay. No. Other people, Asians, they wear sandals year round. Okay. So I hope you like the smell of feet. Okay. Yeah, it's quite, they got refreshments back there, they got a Keurig or a Flava machine. It's you know, not to your liking, well, tough shit. Okay, you got your choice of hazelnut or Irish cream or uh, Colombian roast or French roast. French vanilla. There you go. You got four choices. Pick one. So many options, though. Like I said, free haircuts if you want them. Now, it's probably not going to be much of a use for most of you because, could be the stress, could be the poor diet, could be whatever, any number of factors. But, by the time you're in your 30s, you probably will be bald. Um, just judging at, who works at these tech companies. I don't think the bill for the hairstylist is too much because most of the men are completely bald. So, you know, my advice is to make use of that goodie as quickly as you can because you'll probably be bald soon. You'll be bald soon, and you won't be able to make use of that any longer. Also, take full advantage of when they offer like a masseuse. Um, because that stress will build up in your shoulders. Stress from the deadlines, from the the shitty chair. It's not going to be like an ergonomic chair. It'll be like pushing into your spine. Um, so that stress will tend to build up in your shoulders. So it's not going to be a woman either. It's because they want to avoid sexual harassment suits. It's going to be same-sex masseuses only. So I hope you're okay with that. I hope you're not. I hope you're not a gay phobe. I hope you're not homophobic. It's just going to be a male masseuse for the male workers. That way they avoid peasantries. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's covered in the list of benefits, the goodie bag, so to speak, when you work at a big corporation in STEM. A wig might be only for medical reasons. I don't know. It might be covered, might not be. It's something you might want to ask about in the bargaining phase. That's something they may be willing to compromise on. Salary is pretty much non-negotiable because if you don't take the job, they've got like 100 others waiting in the wings. A wig, though, that's a minor concession. That's a minor concession. Yeah, the female masseuses are reserved for lesbians who tech, girls who code. If you saw that leaked video from Google, I guess that happened the day after the election, and you saw the people wearing the propeller caps and all the people who were hugging each other. One of the people who approached with a question and spoke at the microphone was I believe it was a man. It was a male. It was a husky, obese male to female transsexual with a tight fitting shirt that read lesbians who tech. And this is a real organization. It's sort of like Girls Who Code, but it's specifically geared to female homosexuals, to lesbians. And the organization is called Females Who Tech. Yeah, Females Who Tech. Or sorry, Lesbians Who Tech. Lesbians Who Tech. Um, because they bring their orientation to bear on any of the solutions. How can you as like a straight person, how can you be an engineer for all of the population? Okay, that doesn't make sense. Like when you're designing something, your gender and your orientation have to be part of that. Like, how do you expect a straight person and a gay person to use the same interface, to use the same terminal? That doesn't make sense. Okay. So, in order to reach all parts of the population, it's incumbent upon these organizations to hire from all segments of the population. It's like duh, how could a straight person program a device that a gay person could use? It's impossible. It's impossible. Only a gay person could design something that could be used intuitively by another gay person. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, I'm so tired of these people seeing everything through their heterosexual glasses. Okay, not the whole world isn't straight, bra. Okay, just because you design something with your straight noggin, don't expect a gay person to know how to use it. Yeah, the gay perspective needs to be taken into account. Yeah, exactly. And the only way to do that is by having gay programmers and gay engineers. Okay. Yeah, otherwise it'll be biased, okay? This keyboard that I'm looking at right now, it looks kind of suspect to me, okay? This mouse that I'm using, I think it's kind of insensitive, okay? I think it's kind of insensitive. If you kind of look at it, the right way, it kind of looks like a boob, and I don't like that. Everything is so phallocentric. So phallocentric. It's disgusting. But yeah, I can heartily endorse majoring in STEM. I think it's a wise decision, but you have to start early. Okay, you have to start early. There are no second chances. Only hip hop entertainers and professional athletes get a second chance. Okay, when they get caught doing something like with drugs or with a gun. If you fuck up, in high school, you're done for. Okay, so you have to start taking those heady courses now. I understand that means sacrifice. I understand that means you won't be able to drink or smoke weed in high school. You're going to be a recluse in college. You're going to be in one of those study rooms, those little tiny study rooms that you can rent in the library for the afternoon. Sometimes, if you're an elite student and you have really good grades, they will give you a semester long pass to one of the cubicles, to one of the and it's good that you train yourself to be in a cubicle. You know why? Because like I said, this is the only time you're going to have an office, my friend. uh you'll have an office when, it's a little office. It measures about, 5 feet by 5 feet. But you know what, that's where you'll be studying, because once you're actually at one of these corporations, you're not going to have a door, you're not going to have walls, you're not going to have a cubicle. It's a big long table. Okay, pretend you're like going to a banquet. It's like a banquet in Valhalla. Okay, instead of Viking gods joining you at the long banquet table, it's Sandeep from New Delhi. It's Ho from Korea. It's Chang from China. Okay, so instead of dining with your ancestors and dining with, gods like Loki and Thor, no, 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 no. You're dining with the rest of the world. And it's much better. It's much better. It's much better that way. Yeah, you want to be at that big long table where everybody can see you. You have no privacy. Um, Everybody's whooshing past you, walking past you, bumping into your chair. Uh, I hope you don't need to concentrate, because your peripheral vision is always going to be engaged. People are always moving at the corners of your vision, at the corners of your eye. Sandeep is moving, he's shimmying, he's vibrating, he's doing something, and he won't sit the fuck still. Got a problem with that? Pop an Adderall, fuckface. Pop an Adderall. Ooh, ooh, I need that masseuse right about now. I got too much stress up in my shoulders. But is there anything more I think you need to know before signing up for a lifetime of reward with a STEM career? Let me think. Is there anything that I missed? Did I miss anything? I covered just how lucrative it is. You know, like I said, be prepared to, you better be looking for like a four-car garage to house your fleet, because you're gonna have like a fleet of Bugattis. You're gonna have a lot of nice cars, my friend. You're not gonna be riding your bicycle to the bus stop and then putting the bicycle on the front like on a hook, and then riding the bus with all the homeless fucks to get off and then pedal some more and then go in all nice and sweaty to your tech job. No, 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 no. You're going to be riding in style. You're not going to be riding a bus. Um, yeah, you're going to have, you know, a lot of, you better be looking for some nice furniture, some big, heavy oak table, desk, nice leather chair, you know, some bookshelves to go in that nice corner office that you're not going to have. But you won, okay? You don't want to be like those fucking losers, okay? Those losers who just work in some non-STEM job, right? It's better that your mind is constantly engaged, okay? That it's constantly being engaged with, okay, fuck, how do I parse this data? How do I process this data? Oh, fuck, I got to figure this out here. It's good that you never have a moment's rest. It's good that your mind is constantly being engaged over minutia and tedious shit. Um, yeah, that's the important thing. You don't want to be like these losers. Okay, I mean, can you imagine being a clinical psychiatrist, and you just sit there like in a comfortable chair, and you're doodling, you're scratching down some notes about some person who's complaining about, they're going through, they need a marriage counselor, right? Because everybody's so defective and fucked up. The best way people know of how to settle a family dispute is by washing all of their dirty laundry in the public with a stranger. It's like, we need a marriage counselor. We can't work through things on our own. I know I have the solution. Let's go get a total stranger involved in our shit. That makes sense. That makes sense, right? Um, my kid's got problems at school. He's addicted to something. Hey, I know I can't deal with him myself. Let's go get a total stranger, and we'll talk to this total stranger, and maybe this total stranger will know what to do. That makes sense. Yeah, but you don't want to be like one of those people who has an easy job, where you could do it drunk or, with a hangover. You don't want that. You want a job that requires you to give your all. Okay. A teacher, like Aaron Clary says, teachers are stupid. Okay. Who wants 4 or 5 months off a year? I know I don't. I am totally happy working at a STEM job where I have a week off every year. A week vacation is all I need because I don't have a personal life. I don't have a social life. I don't have any time for that. Why would I need more vacation time to be alone and miserable? It's good that I only have a week off every year. Why would you want to be like a teacher? I mean, you get 3 months off, 3.5 months off in the summer. You get 2.5, 3 weeks at Christmas or winter holiday. You get 2, 3 weeks off in springtime. Yeah, like why that doesn't appeal to me at all. Why would you want to start work at 9 a.m. and roll out at 3:30 p.m.? That would suck. It's much better to have to wake up at 5 a.m. for the morning commute. You get home at 8 p.m. That's better. That's better. Yeah, why would you want to, like, you work 180 days a year, which is what teachers do? Why would you want that? It's better to work more. You don't want to have months and months off. What the fuck are you going to do with yourself? You would have to, like, get a personal life, maybe a significant other, maybe, enjoy your life, have hobbies. You don't want to have to do that, folks, okay? You do not want to have to develop hobbies. You do not want to have to develop friendships, social relationships. It's much better to have only your job. It's much healthier, trust me. Oh yeah, why would you want to be a teacher? I mean, it's like safe. The worst thing that can happen is like you get a paper cut turning a book pages of a book too quickly. Why would you want to do that? It's better to be a daredevil, be an underwater welder. That way when, shit goes tits up and your underwater submersible gets crushed like a tin can, yeah, it'll be worth that big salary, be worth it. you know be an underwater welder. You get eaten by a fucking plesiosaur. Yeah, you thought they were extinct, right? Oh well. Yeah, think again. Um, yeah, why would you want like an easy job? Just you show up, you talk about history, talk about how the good guys won World War II. Um, it's like that episode of The Simpsons where it's the it's the last day of school before summer, and the bell rings, and the some teachers like teaching about, I think it was a World War II or the Civil War, and all the kids get up to leave at the bell, and he goes, "Wait, wait, don't you want to know how it ended?" And they all freeze, and then the teacher goes, "We won!" And then the children cheer and celebrate. So be easy. Just you know, history. You just teach history. You know the drill, folks. You know the drill. It's 6 weeks of slavery, followed by a couple weeks of the civil rights movement, then a month or two about the Holocaust, and there you go. You just you get it in different levels, different different amounts at different grades. You can't overwhelm the kids in elementary school with too much Holocaust information or too much slavery. You give it to them in small doses, and then you just kind of expand upon it in each successive grade. Maybe everybody knows about Rosa Parks, the woman who took a stand by taking a seat, but how many people know about Rufus Jackson, uh, the black man who took a stand by taking a shit? Okay, everybody knows about Rosa Parks, how she refused to move her lazy black ass on the bus. And for that, she is a civil rights icon. But how many people, this is your job as a teacher, is to bring little known factoids to the attention of your pupils. How about telling them the inspirational story of Rufus Jackson, um, uh, the black man who in 1953, um, he ate some food, some Cajun food that didn't agree with his stomach, and he was frantically searching for a public bathroom to use, only to find that the colored's bathroom was out of order. It was closed down for repairs, and so about to shit his pants, Rufus Jackson did what no other black man has ever done up until that time, which was to boldly go. He boldly went where no other black man had ever gone before, and he entered the whites only male bathroom. I think it was at a library. It was at a library or at a store, and he he took a shit in the whites only male bathroom. And as he was inside the stall, everybody was gathering outside. They were pounding on the door, they were pounding on the stall walls, telling him to get his black ass out of there. And he had explosive diarrhea inside that toilet, inside the white male bathroom. And he's kind of been lost to history. He took a stand by taking a shit. Rosa Parks just took a stand by taking a seat. Uh, and Rufus Jackson has been lost to history. Rufus Jackson has been lost to history, and you could be like an activist teacher. You could like try to raise funds for like a statue commemorating Rufus Jackson, and it's like made out of granite as he's taking a shit. Um, Rumors have it that he ate Wendy's that day. It could be. It could be Wendy's did. Wendy's was in operation starting in the early 1950s, I believe. So you could be very well. It could be true. It might very well be true. Um, but these what did Neil Armstrong do? Fuck him, another cracker. You know, Rufus Jackson really went where no black man had gone before. Um, so, it's your job as a teacher to bring these tales of inspiration, you know, to your students. But why would you want to do that when you could work STEM? Okay, we're getting off the subject, which is why STEM is such a rewarding career choice. Okay, it makes sense. Okay, it makes sense, people. Um, I've talked about the perks. I've talked about the warm, fuzzy feeling you get. Helping to design prosthetic devices for, children whose parents, drank too much during pregnancy, etc. Things like that. Um, Gives you you're not going to reproduce yourself. You got to understand that. You're not going to have a child yourself. So, when you can help take care of somebody else's disabled, dysfunctional, uh, defective children, it warms the cockles of your heart. Um, let's see here. Yeah, and see the thing is when people major in STEM and they kind of wed themselves to their career, their career makes up their identity. They're never going to be honest about what if they would have done things differently, if they regret things. They'll double down. As somebody says here in the comments, they'll double down and they will swear that it's a fulfilling thing to do. They wouldn't change a thing. They're totally happy. Um, they won't admit that they fucked up, and they won't admit that if they could do things over, They would go back in time and tell their 15-year-old former self, hey, let me take you aside for a second and tell you, give you some advice. They won't do that. They'll just say, yeah, let me try to dupe others into being miserable like I am. Let me try to get even more people to fuck their lives up. Ugh. Is there anything more? Yeah, is there anything more I wanted to say to plug STEM as a career choice? Is there anything more? Is there anything more that I think you should know about STEM? Hmm. Well, what's great, like I said, is as a person in STEM, you really will never get the respect or whatever that you think you deserve. For instance, everybody goes to who is their go-to guy for anything STEM related? It's Elon Musk, right? Did Elon Musk what was his background? Did he I don't think he majored in STEM. I think he dropped out, right? I don't think he completed any degree. But anyway, he's the go-to guy for, he knows everything. He knows everything about space. He knows everything about how to design a spaceship. He knows everything. He knows how to design underground tunnels that are sealed with a vacuum. He knows everything. Okay? They're not going to come to you. Okay? You're a little ant and you don't get to speak. Yeah, well, having a father who owns an emerald mine helps too. Uh, well, somebody says right here, it appears to be a female. But that can't be. Should I major in STEM? Of course you should. Yeah, the question, I don't even have to look at the rest of your question. Should I major in STEM? There is no or. Whatever comes after the or, just disregard it, okay? Should I major in STEM? Yes, obviously. Obviously you should. Uh, I don't even need to look at what the rest of your question here. What or? There is no or. Should I major in STEM? Yes, obviously. It's amazing. Okay, you make tons of money. Um, yeah, it's just the compensation, all of the free time, all of the vacation time that you have. Um, it's a very low stress job that really doesn't ask too much of you. Um, you can find employment anywhere. You don't have to move to certain places like Boston or Seattle or Silicon Valley. No, you don't have to do that. You can find employment anywhere. It's so flexible, so flexible. Um, but somebody's disagreeing me about my previous theories. No, because even when it comes to STEM, women don't want somebody who majors in STEM because they think that's good. They want to major in STEM themselves because they think they've been told it's so amazing. That's why it was male dominated. It was men keeping women out. That's why women are now pushing to get into it because they think they've been denied something. They think that men were keeping something wonderful to themselves and now they want it. Well, women want money and status, but they don't want men who have money and status. um, you must make a distinction there. Women certainly do want money and status, but they want that for themselves. They don't Money and status don't get shared just because you're dating or you're seeing a man who has money and status. It doesn't shine off on you. Actually, it just casts a shadow on you. It just casts into very stark relief how little money she has, how little education she has, how little status she has by way of comparison. That's not what she wants. She doesn't want Mr. Big. She wants to be Mr. Big. No, 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 no. Women do not want men with money and status. They want money and status for themselves. They don't want to be married to a CEO. They want to be the CEO. Okay. They, like I said, they don't want to meet Mr. Big. They want to be Mr. Big. College women aren't going for men, period. I don't know why anybody thinks men are a top priority for women. I was watching some video recently. Who was it? I don't know. It was one of these people who give the bad advice, and they were saying that women go to college to get a MRS degree, a Mrs. degree, to find a guy to marry. I don't see how. Again, I don't know who this was. It was somebody that I don't know. It was, I don't know, was it Aaron Clary? It was somebody like that. And he was claiming that women go to college to meet men, to marry, to find a successful husband. I don't know how these people can be so delusional to think an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old Western female is even entertaining the idea of getting married. I mean, you go to college at 17 or 18. You think these women are honestly even thinking about getting married? They're not thinking about getting married until they're 34, 36. Okay? If that. I mean, some of them just outright don't want to. So women are not seeking out men to marry at college. They're not going to university with the expectation, oh, this is how I meet the good quality men, not the losers that I went to high school with. Bullshit. Um, they're not going to university to meet men. Okay. If they were, they wouldn't be trying to isolate themselves from men by having women's only dormitories, women's only residence halls, female only organizations, female only study groups. I mean, they do everything they can so that they never have to be uh, they never have to be bothered by a man. Yeah, but a lot of these white collar women, they're not dating at all. They're not dating. They're not married, and I don't know again why people think having a man is even a priority for women nowadays. It's not the 1950s. It's not a priority for women. Women are actively trying to avoid men. It's not that they're sitting home alone at night crying why they don't have a man. They don't give a fuck. They don't want a man. Um, well, somebody says young women want effeminate, pretty men who could pass as females. Well, in that case, you act as though there's some stigma against bisexual women or women being lesbians. If that's what they want, they can get that in another woman, and many of them do. Like I said, you can find stats, and the most recent one I found was like from 2011, so it's already very old. And it was something like 22, 25% of white women under the age of 30 identified as bisexual. And that's a stat from fucking 7 years ago. What do you think it is now? What do you think it is if you restrict it to just women who are, 18 to 25? Okay, what percentage of them do you think identify as bisexual or lesbian? Um, I think it's very high. Now, college women aren't going for men. Um, you go to a college campus, you don't see women walking with men unless they're Asian. Unless they're Asian, you see groups of white girls going to the gym together, going to eat together, and you see white men or non-Asian men. I'll make it more general, non-Asian men, and they're just sitting there looking miserable, walking either alone or with others. They are not with women. No, 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 no. Let's see. So let's see. Going through these comments here. That's the purpose of doing a live chat, is it not? Yeah, they're going to university to meet their sorority sisters. That's what they're doing. They isolate themselves in basically a witch's coven. Okay, they don't interact with men. They cook together, they eat together, they go to the gym together, they study together. Women with other women. They aren't doing any of these things with other men. Okay, they have no need for men. They have, again, they go out of their ways to create spaces that are female only, whether it's, residence halls. I mean, the entire fucking building is women only. Um, Organizations where, like, female lawyers, female doctors, they don't want men invading their spaces at all. So no, they're not conniving, coming up with ways to dupe men into marrying them. They're they're coming up, they're throwing, they're trying to get away from men, and they're knocking boxes in your path. They're knocking a vase over. They're just throwing shit in your way to keep you at bay. They don't want you getting close to them. Okay, I mean, I don't get these people who still somehow think that women are seeking out men, that they're desirous of men, that they want a relationship. When, I mean, that's pretty much the picture you have, is of like a woman, and she's like frantically trying to get away from you, and she's like just knocking stuff in the path. She's knocking, a chair over. She's knocking this over. She doesn't want you to get close to her. Okay, they wouldn't be coming up with all of these plans to keep the sexes segregated. Uh, yeah. Somebody says, I think it's ethnic women who want effeminate pretty boys, whereas white women don't want a boyfriend at all or would rather have a female partner. Yeah, I would agree with that. Nothing stands out as incredibly wrong about that statement. Yeah, teaching is way easier than a trade. Why do you want to be getting melanoma, skin cancer from being exposed, laying sheetrock in the hot noonday sun? Just be indoors, uh, or just stock shelves, whatever. I mean, do you think these people who work at Walmart, they're all living under a bridge somewhere? Okay, they all live in a hobo town made out of cardboard. No, they have an apartment. They're not living in a shanty town. Yeah, but especially college age women. I mean, they do not want to have anything to do with men at all. I mean, they are there for the social life, which means other women, and for their career, to be a professional. Um, and by, anything social, that's what they do with their sorority sisters. They are not there to have a fucking picnic with their boyfriend or a man. They're not looking for that. Um, they are completely segregated. I mean, they do everything with other women. Okay, and don't believe me? Check out some university campus near you. Um, you will see how segregated the sexes are amongst Westerners. Again, you will see Asian couples, but amongst Westerners, it is, and women are seem to be enjoying it. It's the men who look fucking miserable. But the women who are going to eat together, going to the gym together, they're not going there to work out with guys. They're going there to work out with each other. Then they go back to studying together. Then they have a snack together, a drink together. Then they go to bed. Then they see each other the next day. Um, there's no place in their lives for a man. Oh, okay. So again, somebody's making this claim. Apparently, it's the case of the backdoor lover. The men and women never even acknowledge each other in public, but the guy's slithering up the drain in the middle of the night for a midnight shagging, and then he scoots out the window, and nobody ever sees them together. They don't even acknowledge each other in public. They're just like two ships passing in the night. But when nighttime comes around, it's Tarzan swinging through the window for some loving. Again, why do you think a woman needs a man? Okay, she's got her dildo. Okay, she's got her vibrator in the drawer. Okay, what does she need a man for? To give her some shitty sex? I mean, let's be honest. Okay. Women don't need a big dong. Okay. And if she wants one, she can pick one up at the store, have it delivered 2 day overnight through Amazon. Okay. She's got a fucking array. Okay. She's got whatever she wants in her drawer. She doesn't need a man. Why? To risk to risk something, to risk anything? No, just she can get off with a fucking vibrator. She doesn't need a man for that. There's nothing a man can give a woman. I mean, emotional intimacy she gets with her female friends. Sex she can get with her friends or with a toy. Financial she has her parents for. Yeah, women want preference in academia and business. Well, government jobs too. I mean, they want the power. They want to have preferential treatment. They want, again, they don't want men who have these positions. They don't want men who have wealth or status. They want those things for themselves. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'll probably go back to doing some of that body cam footage. I had some footage from the mall from winter time. It's been a long time since I did any. Um, I know some other people were talking about doing that, but yeah, I think some body cam footage would be good. Yeah, I do believe women are more asexual than they've ever been. Yeah. We've got some new people here in the chat I don't recognize. Don't know if they're serious or just trolling. Again, I mean, I think you're making a fundamental mistake. Why do you think women are craving the dick more than ever? I mean, that's a weird statement. Uh, Everything points to the opposite. This is not the swinging '60s. Somebody says thinking of delivering pizza. I mean, you don't have to do that. Again, I think the thing is more like you drive for Uber Eats, or you're a delivery person for, what is it called? Skip the dishes. So you're not delivering for one establishment. You're delivering for the dozens and dozens of eateries that are listed on Grubhub, or, yeah, like Grubhub or whatever. Those places don't have their own dedicated drivers anymore. It's not like a Domino's pizza delivery guy. It's You're a generic catch-all delivery guy, and you contract with whatever, skip the dishes or whatever, and you're delivering from a Thai place. You're delivering from a pizza place. I think that's the way it's going now. You don't actually have a home anymore. Oh, somebody's promoting just get rich. Just make fat stacks, brah. Just make fat stacks. Just work 80 hours a week. Do whatever you can to make money. Again, it's what type of lifestyle you want. If you want more free time and a low stress life and the ability to sleep as much as you want, or you want to be sleep deprived, prematurely age, and all of that for you know, lots of money. Well, I mean, you have to weigh your options. You have to weigh what's important to you. If having no free time, sleeping 4 hours a night, is what you want, or you're okay with that in order to have money. And again, you got to ask, why do I make this money? What am I going to do with this? There are people out there who, okay, yeah, they want to have the toys. They want to have a brand new sports car. They want to have a luxury car. They want to have a yacht. But for other people, that doesn't do it for them. I mean, there's nothing that I can say I really want. There's nothing, materially speaking. So Why would I exhaust myself to save for retirement so that I can be an old sick man and pay for my medications myself? I mean, I don't see the point of that. That seems ridiculous. Well, and see, people talk about, oh, go on to seeking arrangement, or they're there for to legalize prostitution. You'll see this a lot. A lot of people who are incel, they recommend going the escort or legal. People should we should push for the legalization of prostitution. If you did that, that would only widen the gap between men and women, economically as well as socially. Okay, all prostitution or legal prostitution would represent is a mass transfer of wealth from men to women. So men would become even poorer, even more destitute, and women would become even wealthier. So that gap would increase. Okay, because it's not going to be women paying men for sex. That happens only in fantasy. It would be men basically going broke, transferring wealth to women. And that's to say nothing of that's really going to even fuck up the social dynamic even more between men and women. If you think it's hard to get a date now, imagine with legalized prostitution. No, again, my main premise is women choose men to be in relationships with that they are not attracted to. They are deliberately choosing men they have no physical attraction to. They do this as a power play. They do this to maintain control and to maintain the upper hand in the relationship. If you're not actually attracted to who you're with, it kind of gives you the upper hand. Your emotions are not controlled by them. If they leave, you don't really give a shit. If you're with somebody you think is gorgeous, you think is very attractive, you're going to be kind of scared to lose them. So my main premise is that women, when they are in a relationship, they are deliberately choosing men that they are not physically attracted to. They do this to preserve, protect their emotions so they don't get emotionally involved. It's a way of distancing themselves from the relationship. So that is my main premise, is that they are choosing males for a relationship that they are not actually attracted to. So that's why all of that talk about looks maxing is not going to help you, you know? That is my main premise. No, 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 no. Women do not need physical intimacy from men. If they need physical intimacy, they can get that from their family, their sisters, their female friends, their pets. Um, Women are much more open with. I mean, they'll hug a fucking stranger. They'll hug some old disabled bum. Um, it's not something men are doing. Getting physical intimacy from friends or things like that. They can get their physical intimacy from a sister. Okay, you'll see two sisters giving each other hugs. Not really. Brothers will not really do that. Brothers will not be as affectionate with each other as sisters are. Um, let's see. Why would women suddenly stop craving men? Multitude of reasons. Uh, Social conditioning, okay, getting them to resent men, getting them to hate men, see men as rapists, predators, exploiters, benefits that they're beneficiaries of privilege, they're beneficiaries of the old boys club, that they discriminate against women. It's always been that seed that they've been planting and allowing to germinate for the past couple decades. Um, that it's led to this resentment by women of men. But there are other reasons. Rampant usage of hormonal contraception. Uh, I mean, pretty much every woman under the age of what, 35 is on the pill, right? I mean, do they even sell tampons anymore? I haven't seen a commercial or an advertisement for fucking tampons in a long time. Um, Rampant use of antidepressants. Let's see, a lot of reasons why they no longer crave. Man, that's such a weird word too. Crave. Yeah, women snuggle together with friends. Yes, with I agree with that. Yeah, most Asian women prefer rich Asian men, or at least Asian men who have the potential to be rich. That's why you'll see them getting saddling up together in college when they're not yet earning money. Well, they have the potential to, and that potential is good enough for Asian women to stick by their men. Uh, Getting caught up here, then I think I'll punch out. Fucking thing. All right, just getting caught up here, and then I'm gonna punch out here. Yeah, we're getting caught up here. Hmm. Somebody's joking about, I don't know if somebody's saying somebody, unemployed or somebody else is unemployed. But again, that type of message that you have to be on the treadmill nonstop for your entire life. Oh, you're not doing anything. You're not gainfully employed. You're taking a break. You got off of the treadmill for a bit. Well, that's going to look mighty suspicious on your resume. How are you going to explain this big gap on your resume? You took 6 months off. How dare you? You took 9 months off. You took a year off. What the fuck were you doing? What the fuck were you doing? What were you thinking? You can't ever take a break. It's push, push, push all the way, all the time. You can't take a break. Nobody's your skills have atrophied. Your skills are out of date after 9 months. How dare you? You can't ever escape this rat race. You can't get off. You can't get off the treadmill for 6 months. No, you have to work nonstop for 40 years. You can go to the Indian gambling parlor and blow some money on the weekend. That's your vacation. That's your that's your break from the humdrum. You get to go to the Indian gambling parlor and drop a few $1,000s, and then you can laugh about it come Monday morning over the water cooler. You're like, yeah, those Indians, bro, they sure did take my money, but it's good because their ancestors, they had their land taken by the evil white man. So it's good. It's good that the Indians get to run legalized gambling parlors. That's good. You don't get to do that. You don't get to even bet on game of poker in your basement with your friends. What the fuck are you running here? Are you running some illegal gambling operation, white man? Better kick over that table that you have. Only Indians get to profit from gambling, not you. You have to work. Anyway, I think we're caught up here. Yeah, I think I'm done here. Uh, anyway, that's the rant on STEM, and I'm out of here.